I think the coaches of both the men's and women's teams have to come up with some creative ways to raise money.
Coaches, number one, must be engaged in the community. You must reach out to your community.
I was naive. I thought a low budget, highly successful team, both on and off the court, was going to be safe.
Title IX is not the problem here. Title IX is an excuse and not a justification.
Well, my experience in college at University of Southern California was very special to my education as well as to my tennis.
Winning means a lot, but it takes more than a winning record to keep a varsity collegiate tennis program alive and well. In the last dozen years, 250 men's and women's varsity tennis programs have been cut. Hi, I'm Billie Jean King, here to help you keep yours from being next. We are here to talk about why so many great programs are being dropped, what's being done to make a difference, and what you can do to safeguard the future for your program, your team, and your own coaching position.
Yeah, I had the privilege to coach the men's team for 23 years, and during that time, I had the greatest kids to work with. They were overachievers, and they were really the class of the university. Historically, they've been the #1 academic team on the men's side. Just out of the blue, one day, the athletic director called the coach in and told the coach that we were being eliminated. Our program has been there for over 100 years, and to think that now, in these times, that we don't have enough, money for a team of 8 outstanding, scholar athletes just defies logic.
Rutgers isn't alone. Top programs across the country have been cut, at all levels. No matter who they are or how successful, nobody's immune. The University of Kansas is an example.
When I was at University of Kansas, I never thought that they would cut the program. We were new in the Big 12. We moved from the Big 8 to the Big 12. We're doing good things. We had All-Americans, academic All-Americans. We broke the school GPA record at Kansas. I mean, we were doing some good things.
I was naive. I thought a low budget, highly successful team, both on and off the court, was going to be safe. I thought a program that was part of the Big East in terms of conference championships would be safe. And unfortunately, I was wrong. So I think every coach needs to know that their program is at risk, and you need to be very proactive in terms of raising money and making those contacts.
Despite what some people think, Title IX is not the problem. Both men and women play varsity tennis, and programs for both are being cut.
Sometimes when athletic programs are under pressure and they're looking to cut back and even consider cutting sports, it's sometimes blamed on Title IX. First of all, Title IX is not the problem here. Title IX is an excuse and not a justification. We really have to protect Title IX opportunities for young women and young men, but we also have to be able to spend smartly so that we can support student athletes in all our sports, not just the high visibility ones. Title IX is not the problem.
The real reasons are much more complex. Budgets are tight, and schools are cutting everywhere they can. Campuses are expanding, and tennis courts take up space. High-profile sports like football and basketball have a money-making image, even though the vast majority of schools actually lose money on these programs. The traditional idea of athletics as a vital part of education, teaching life lessons and developing character, is giving way to the idea of sports as money-making business machines.
Here's a program where the students are graduating on time, and almost a high percentage, in the 90% are graduating, doing very well academically, and then many of the varsity athletes in tennis are going on to special careers. So when a university terminates that program, it's in direct conflict with its mission statement of the purpose of higher education.
By doing all you can to keep the tennis program going on your campus, You're doing much more than preserving your job. You're adding value to the athletic program, the entire university, and the sport of tennis. Collegiate varsity tennis helps attract new students. On campus, varsity tennis showcases top scholar athletes, while clubs and recreational tennis contribute to a rich social life. Varsity tennis has other benefits such as building relationships beyond the campus with alumni and the local community. It can also help generate revenue for the tennis program and the university as a whole. And tennis does all this at relatively little cost.
Coaches, number one, must be engaged in the community. You must reach out to your community. And then number two, you must make sure that you and your student athletes are interwoven with your college community.
I think it's extremely important for the coach to get involved in the college community at large, whether it's go to a play or see a concert, so that they understand the philosophy of the institution itself.
The more people you touch, the more people you connect to the sport of tennis, the more viable your program is, not only in what people look at the rankings, but in your community. Your president and your athletic director is aware of what your sport, what your kids means in the student body population, as well as in the general community at large.
You have to give the opportunity to the students, to the school and the community to have those interactive experiences. It's good for the students, but it's also good for the school and it's good for the community.
Focus. Come up here.
Community involvement provides lessons not available in any classroom.
The university isn't just this university up on the hill, but it's the university that represents the entire community, and that there's this relationship back and forth between the community and the university that everyone can take advantage of.
At Northern Arizona University, students learn the value of giving back in an after-school tennis program.
I think it's real important for Northern Arizona University to show that they're just not taking up space here in Flagstaff, but they actually really care about the community.
And I think when presidents or athletic directors see how big the influence of the tennis is on the community, and then I think they would be more than willing to support us even more.
Our varsity tennis team is involved in a wonderful program with the community called Tenacity. And the program brings our varsity athletes into contact with children from the community on the after-school programs and then in summer programs where the students have a chance to get involved and learn from our players, not just how to play tennis, but also a chance to be tutored, a chance to have mentorship from these extraordinary college athletes, and a chance for the university and the community to work together for very important shared goals.
We've talked to coaches all over the country about the importance of redefining the role of non-revenue sports like tennis. I think it's incumbent on coaches to begin to look and say, how can our teams earn their keep? How can they make themselves valuable inside the community? And in many ways, we become the ambassadors for Harvard.
By broadening their scope, collegiate tennis programs serve more than the community. They also build a revenue stream for themselves and their institution as a whole.
I think by getting a total program together, putting on camps in the summertime for high school students, not only do the costs start to fall, but the overall reputation of the school as a community-engaged university starts to go up.
It serves both a recruiting function because it showcases the university in a very positive way for future students. At the same time, it's generating some significant revenue and using facilities that otherwise are just lying fallow in the summer.
Well, the USTA and the ITA put together the Advocacy Network through PACT, which is Preserving American Collegiate Tennis. And what we've done is we've gotten about 2,000 people to sign up who are passionate about college tennis. And they are a resource for us so that when we get wind that a program may be dropped or that a program may be in trouble, we can send out an SOS which says, you need to contact this president or these boards of trustees and tell them how important the program is and how important it is to keep it. And that's a very powerful tool to have when a college president gets bombarded with emails. Sometimes they listen to us.
In some cases, the USTA and ITA have been successful in reversing decisions to cut programs. For example, Not only was the plan to drop the men's and women's programs at Western Michigan University reversed, but the university built a new tennis center. The Advocacy Network is ready to help. If your program might be in jeopardy, you need to contact them right away. Use the contact information at the end of this video.
I think the coaches of both the men's and women's teams have to come up with some creative ways to raise money. You can either do it the way Cal State's done it, the way for just tennis, but have a little dinner, expect the alumni to come back, people who have young people in the sport. Do something to raise money. You can't just be a tennis coach anymore, you have to be a fundraiser as well.
But you have to fundraise if you want to go play and take some nice trips. You better raise the money to do that. But endowing scholarships, becoming self-sufficient, I think, the more you do with that, the better chances you have of being around there for a long time.
The best thing to do is to endow scholarships, because then it makes the decision of an athletic director that much more difficult to eliminate that sports, because some people have put dollars aside, which is really the base of the expense of the program. And if somebody can do that, then I think your chances of eliminating that sport are minimized.
The fact that the tennis has had usually one of the highest GPAs in a university situation, that a lot of these people are very competitive in an individual sport but working as a team, that they had high aspirations, they have great commitment, great work ethic, time management. It's not surprising that those people are successful when they get out of college. And so those people are going to maybe support the university a lot more than some of the other athletes that are in these high revenue sports.
I think wins and losses are one small dimension of this. I'm really looking for academic performance. I'm looking for college citizenship, and I'm looking for sort of civic engagement and community activism in the best sense of all of that. And I get that from my tennis program, and I would never think about doing anything else but investing in that program, and that's what I'm doing now. That's the least we can do for the men and the women who have been playing tennis for generations at the college.
Tennis players graduate from college. I mean, what more can you say about that? And they are the ones that are going to give money not only to tennis, but to the university, to their varsity club, to their boosters club.
Every single person who's ever played their sport has to be an advocate. And so advocate in the way that you can do it. But you need to get companies involved, you need to get people involved, you need to get everybody involved to help as a community thing.
My recommendation to a coach would be to reach out to the community, build that booster club, and have outreach events with the booster club, whether it's in your facility, whether it's in another facility in town, and just start building that base. And that's what drives the support at your matches and support, not only fan support, but financial support. I mean, then they help you fundraise. They look for different ways to help you improve your team, and that's very important.
For those people that think that you can do it alone, then they must understand that that doesn't work that way. Coaches aren't successful unless you have donors, unless you have players, unless you have the whole ball of wax working with you.
The Advocacy Network is important, but there's a lot you can do first to safeguard your tennis program before it's at risk.
We can't afford to ignore the risk to varsity collegiate tennis, even for teams with outstanding winning records. So think and live, save our sport, and follow the 6 steps to protect your program. Expand your outreach plan, promote your program, build a booster club, cultivate your athletic department, develop media contacts, and be vigilant. All that may sound like a tall order, but it's not too much to ask when what's at stake is the future of varsity collegiate tennis and its vital contribution to tennis as a whole. The United States Tennis Association and the Intercollegiate Tennis Association are here to help. At the first sign of trouble, don't hesitate to utilize the ITA USTA College Advocacy Network.